It takes more than a good idea and a great attitude to start and maintain a business. While it may seem like you can post profits from the jump, virtually all overnight success stories were years in the making. It takes time to create, build, and grow a business, not to mention money, energy, patience, and support. With those resources, you'll be able to see your idea turn into a sustainable and profitable business. Just know that the road to starting your own business is a long and difficult one, so plan ahead. There's a lot of misinformation online about starting a business. Social media makes it seem like this venture requires minimal time and effort for huge returns and endless tax write-offs. To be crystal clear, starting a business won't turn you into an overnight millionaire, make all of your expenses tax deductible, protect you against personal responsibility lawsuits, attract plenty of investors wanting to support you, free up more time for your personal life. No matter what you've seen online, creating and running a business takes a lot of hard work. Your business won't be hugely profitable in the first 30 days and won't be able to support you completely within months. And while business expenses will be deductible on your tax return, personal expenses still won't be. Small business owners work hard, and they work a lot. In fact, many surveys show that entrepreneurs work more than full-time employees, sometimes twice as much or more. One poll from the New York Enterprise Report found that 33% of entrepreneurs reported working at least 50 hours a week. Plus, 25% of those 33% of business owners reported working over 60 hours per week. That's why so many small business owners burn out. Focusing so much time on building your business leaves little time for relationships, health, rest, and fun. With all of the time you'll be spending on your business, time management skills are crucial for your success. You'll be juggling your business, your home life, and possibly another job. It takes superb multitasking abilities and discipline to manage all of this successfully for the years it may take to start your business. You'll also need to have strong support systems in place when you just can't get everything done on your own. Every business needs sufficient startup funds. If your business idea requires inventory, machinery, equipment, and premises, your initial costs will be much greater than a company that can be started with a laptop. In addition, if you can't run your business without employees, your costs will also be higher than a solo venture. But even companies with very lean startup budgets need funding, and it's often more than they expect. Most small businesses won't produce profits for at least 6 months to a year, sometimes longer. That means every dime that comes in the door goes right back out. And often, more money will be flowing out than in for quite a while. Remember, if this business will be your primary personal income source, all of your personal expenses factor into this cash flow equation. That means until or unless you get external business financing, you may personally end up borrowing a lot of money through loans and credit cards. Many business owners struggle with mounting debt, which can be difficult to overcome in the beginning stages. That's why it's crucial to make sure you have enough funding available. Many new entrepreneurs are under the incorrect impression that they'll be able to run a profitable business that generates huge tax savings. They expect to be able to run all of their expenses through the business, writing off even their personal expenses. This sadly isn't true, which often comes as a shock on the first tax return. When a business generates profits, it also generates a tax bill from the federal and state governments. Who pays those taxes, you or your business, depends on how the business is set up. But for the majority of small business startups, the business income flows through to the business owner's tax return, and the owner bears the responsibility for reporting and paying the taxes. Having an LLC, a limited liability company, as your legal business structure doesn't affect this at all. LLCs don't exist for tax purposes. They are legal structures. As for personal expenses, some of those will become legitimate business expenses. These legitimate expenses are mainly for mixed use, such as your personal phone or car that you also use for the business. The business portion of these expenses then becomes deductible. But things like meals eaten while you're working, clothes that you bought for a personal photo shoot, or your at-home subscriptions don't magically become deductible when you start a business. More than 5 million new businesses were started in the U.S. in 2022. Approximately 10% of those failed within the first year, and another 70% will likely fail within the first 2 to 5 years. That doesn't mean you should be discouraged. It gives you the opportunity to look at what went wrong for other businesses so yours can avoid the same fate. The most common causes for business failure include lack of planning, running out of money, poor management, inability to adapt to changing conditions, ineffective marketing. Each of these can be overcome with solid planning and flexibility. No matter how good your plan is, reality will throw you a curveball. That's why your business has to be able to adjust to whatever is happening in the world in order to survive. A 1-month snapshot of startups. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 418,904 new businesses started in November 2022. The majority of those, 191,226, were formed in the southern U.S. Only 48,850 of those new companies nationwide plan to pay employee wages. The top startup industries that month included construction, retail, professional services, and administrative and support services. When it comes to choosing the best business for you to start, there are many factors to take into consideration. As you're trying to decide what to do, think about how much do you care about the business you're considering? Skill set. What do you already know how to do well? Industry expertise. What knowledge and experience can you bring to the business? Motivation. Do you have the ability to get things done even when you don't want to? Runway. How much cash can you contribute, raise, or borrow to fund your business while it's in the startup phase? Budget. How much money do you expect to spend on the business until it's viable, and what do you plan to spend it on? Scalability. Do you have the capacity to meet increasing demand or workload? Demand. Will people or businesses want to buy what you're selling? Market saturation. How many other businesses are selling what you plan to sell? Give yourself time and really think about the factors in relation to your personal interests, goals, and experience. Your business idea should score high on all or at least most of these factors. If it doesn't, you might want to consider starting a different type of business. For example, a company you're passionate about and have a high level of expertise in won't be successful if there's no demand for what you plan to sell, or if the market is already oversaturated. At the same time, selling a product that's in high demand with lots of room for growth when you have no interest in it and hate working on it can also lead to business failure. Strive for a balance between your passion and knowledge and the market allowance. Perfect is the enemy of done. No business idea will score perfectly in every factor category. As you're pondering what business you'd like to start, don't aim for a perfect outcome. Instead, take your best idea, the one with the most potential, and get started. You'll make mistakes, hopefully ones you can recover from and fix. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never launch. Turn what you love into what you do. To start a business that you'll be passionate about, think about the things you'll love to do and rank them from favorite to least favorite. Once you have that list, you can start brainstorming about possible ways to transform a passion into a viable business prospect. Your next step is making a list of all the things you know how to do, the skill set you'll bring to your fledgling company. Even if your passion and your current work don't seem to have anything in common, you can probably still find some overlap in skills you'll need. Include the skills you'd want to highlight on your resume, as well as the talents and abilities you would bring to the table. Examples of skills relevant to running a business include software and apps proficiency, editorial or copywriting experience, bookkeeping, data analysis, organization, time management, creativity, written and verbal communication, negotiation, research. In addition, make sure to list all of the skills necessary to create the products or provide the services you plan to sell, such as carpentry or acupuncture. These will be specific to this particular business as opposed to the general business skills listed above. What do you have and what you need? Your next step will be to take an inventory of your resources. This list will include things like cash, credit lines, equipment, physical space, and other assets you already have on hand that can be used to launch your business. Once you've got your physical resources sorted, it's time to focus on your knowledge and experience. This is different than your skill set or the things you can do. It's more about your industry knowledge and expertise, whether you gained that knowledge through a job, a volunteer program, or your life experience. These resources include things like knowing which suppliers deliver on time and offer beneficial payment terms, for example. You'll also want to include any licenses and certifications you've earned. Resources can also include your network of colleagues, contacts, and mentors. That pool of potential customers will be your market, and you'll need to find out as much as you can about them. Through extensive research, you'll learn a wealth of information about your future customers, including their demographic information, their buying habits, what triggers their buying behavior, how they choose the products and services they use, what problems they're trying to solve. With that information, you'll be able to create customer persona profiles. These profiles function as avatars that stand in for a particular segment of your target market. You'll understand what motivates a subset of your customers' purchases, what drives them to spend money, and what problem you can solve for them. Plus, you'll learn what entices them to buy from you instead of your competitors. Of course, there's a price for that information, so you'll need to carve out space in your budget for things like marketing data, research assistance, and surveys. But this will be money well spent, as it will give you direct insights into your customer base and their buying habits. What are demographics? Demographics are statistics and facts that describe a particular population. They include things like age, location, marital status, gender, education level, and income. Gathering this information will help you get to know your core customers so you can speak to them to prompt a response. Why bother with market research? While you'll use your market research to help you define and communicate with your customer pool, you can also use it in other ways to help you launch your business. Solid market research can help you reach customers in the way customers prefer, secure funding, identify additional business opportunities, figure out where and how to advertise, properly price your products. Without market research, you'll be flying blind. With it, you'll have a stronger sense of whether your business can succeed before you launch. The bottom line is this: market research can propel your new business towards success and help you avoid potential pitfalls. 4 ways to gather market data. If you've never done market research before, it can feel daunting. You're collecting information that will help you refine your ideas and pinpoint what your potential customers want. The best way to find out what they want is to ask them. To figure out what you want to ask, you can start by gathering general information that will help you narrow down your questions, allowing for the most valuable information to be given. There are 4 main ways to conduct your market research. 1. Do secondary research. Gather existing information from a variety of sources such as government databases, industry reports, and competitor websites. 2. Send out surveys. Create a set of questions and ask your target customers to answer them by reaching out through email or social media. 3. Conduct interviews. Reach out to your potential customers and talk to them one-on-one to find out how and why they use similar products or services. 4. Use focus groups. Gather a small group of people that demographically match your target audience and lead them through a group discussion centering on your product or service offering. Creating your customer persona profiles. Once you've collected your market research, you'll use the information to create your customer personas. When you know exactly who you're talking to, it's much easier to connect with them. It's also easier to avoid language or topics that would turn them off. For example, you wouldn't talk to first-time grandmothers with multiple pets in the same way you talk to young college students with fur allergies. To create these avatars, start with demographic information. Knowing the basic facts will help you begin to see individuals inside the giant customer pool. Then you can begin to add in what you know about their lifestyles, buying preferences, needs, and concerns. Giving each avatar a name will help them come alive in your imagination and give you an edge when you're creating marketing content. It's easier to talk to a real person than to a vague collection of statistics. Analyzing the competition. Know the players, know the game. Understanding your competition before you launch your small business will dramatically shift the odds of success in your favor. You'll gain insights and information you won't find anywhere else, and that knowledge can help you avoid pitfalls, learn successful practices, and jumpstart your company's growth. When learning about your competitors, you'll uncover both opportunities for success and threats to that success, and you'll sadly realize that there are probably more similar businesses that share your market. All these key pieces of data will fall into place as you conduct a competitive analysis, an evaluation of the strengths and weaknesses of your chief competitors. From their products and services to their marketing messages, everything you learn here will give you an advantage as you get ready to launch. Why competitive analysis matters. Gaining a thorough understanding of your competitors will give your company an edge. You'll uncover important clues that will help you maximize the potential success of your business idea. In addition, having this information will help you figure out your company's unique selling proposition, or what makes your product or service different from everyone else's. Strengths and weaknesses of your business relative to each competitor. Threats to your current and future success. Possible products or services to add in. Potential niches that aren't already oversaturated. As you study your competitors, you'll see all the things they're doing successfully and use that as a guide to further your business. You'll also see the things they aren't doing well, gaining insight from their mistakes or areas they've overlooked. Who are your competitors? Before you can begin to analyze your competitors, you have to know who they are. This will include direct, indirect, and replacement competitors, the last of which are especially tricky to identify. Direct competitors sell basically the same products and services that your company sells. You can find them by doing a simple search for whatever you're selling and see what comes up. You can then narrow that search by factors like physical location or price points. For example, if you're selling handmade ceramic mugs, you can do an online search for that and add descriptors like under $50 or near me. Indirect competition covers products or services that aren't exactly the same, but can fall into the same general category. For example, a donut shop and a burger joint both offer different products, but they're both restaurant food, making them indirect competitors. Another example could be bookkeepers and virtual assistants who either provide or sub out bookkeeping services. Your indirect competitors will target the same general market as you, just in a different way. Replacement competitors won't be in the same category, but could satisfy the same basic need for the customer. An example could be frozen dinners replacing a restaurant chain, or DIY bookkeeping software for bookkeepers. Competitor analysis will also include what rival businesses are selling and how their offerings compare to yours. You'll look at factors such as their pricing, target market, market share, marketing strategies, quality, suppliers, and more. You may also be able to get some new ideas for upsell products or related services they offer that you haven't yet considered. This could help you brainstorm future growth opportunities for your company. Upselling for bigger sales. Upselling is a marketing tool that encourages customers to add on to a purchase they're already making. Examples of common upsells include adding shrimp to a salad order, upgrading to business class when you book a flight, and gift wrapping a purchase. This is different than cross-selling, which encourages customers to buy products similar or complementary to their purchase. How to collect competitor data. To keep your analysis consistent and organized, start by creating a spreadsheet or table that lists all the competitors you want to study and the factors you want to look at. This will help you compare different competitors, get an industry snapshot, and help you identify key trends and strategies. Keep your grid flexible so you can add competitors and factors as you come across new information. Start with basic background information on each company you've included so you can learn more about their businesses. This could include things like how long they've been in business, their main location, company size, other companies or brands they have partnered with, and why or how they built their business. You can find information like this on company websites, professional social media sites, and websites that have current or former employees' ratings of a business. Next, try to get a sense of the customers they're actively targeting, who they're trying to talk to. You may have to look at their messaging, including their mission statement, their latest social media posts, and customer comments or reviews. Since they are your competitors, it's likely they're targeting the same audience you are, though their messaging may be directed towards slightly different customer subsets. By looking at their approach, you can more easily focus on your audience and messaging. You may also want to try to find out what software and apps your competitors are using. Doing this research can help you identify tools that you'll be able to use in your business. You may be able to find out how competitors are invoicing, what customer relationship management system they're using, their online sales platform, and more. Some of this information can be found by becoming a customer yourself, buying something from them, signing up for their mailing list, or contacting customer service to see what the processes are like. Identify competitor shortfalls. One of the best things you can learn from the competition is what they're doing wrong. Diving into that aspect of their businesses can help you avoid their mistakes and create a profitable niche. It may result in some of their customer base coming to you, which can help increase your market share more quickly. Some of their shortfalls may include what their product or service is missing, which customer group is underserved, social media posts receiving little or no engagement, bad reviews or complaints online, problems using their website, under or overpriced products or services. You can find a lot of this information through online searches, including doing deep dives on their websites, social media, and other channels they use to reach their target market. Paying attention to where your competitors fall short will provide valuable insights, allowing you to capitalize on areas they've missed while avoiding the mistakes they've made. Learning from a competitor's mistakes is invaluable. Focusing your ideas. When smaller is better. It's the trademark of an entrepreneur. Dozens of ideas for businesses with new plans cropping up all the time. Chasing a handful of new ideas can feel exciting, but rarely results in successful ventures. It's well worth your time to try to focus your ideas, whittling the dozens down into a few that could really work, and then narrowing those down to the one that has the best chance of success. But with so much passion flying around inside your head, it's hard to know where to start. That's why your focus path will look more like a funnel than a trail. You'll keep narrowing the idea pool until you're left with a few truly viable businesses. Once you're down to a handful of potentially profitable ideas, you'll take a critical eye to each and make some preliminary assessments to figure out which has the best chance of success. As you're focusing your business ideas, it pays to get some feedback from trusted friends and colleagues. They can help you tweak and perfect your idea, or they can let you know if it's unlikely to work. Input will be especially helpful if you consult with people who fit into the target market you're aiming for. For the best results here, you'll want to ask everyone the same questions. Remember, you might not get the answers you want, but that can help you move away from an idea that doesn't have much traction. It's easy to fall in love with your business ideas and see them through only that lens. Honest feedback here, positive or negative, provides important insights from a different perspective. What should you ask? Start with the basics. Do you think this idea has potential for success? Would you buy the product or service? If not, why not? How much would you be willing to pay for it? Where are you getting this product or service, or something similar, now? How can I make this idea better? Even if you don't have any acquaintances that fit your ideal customer profile, ask anyway. Objective people can still provide valuable feedback and possibly connect you with people who fit your target audience. Narrow the business type. There are many types of businesses you can start, but they all typically fall into basic categories based on what's being sold. The three main types are physical products, digital products, and services. Businesses that sell physical products such as paper plates, cars, dishwashers, and toys cost more to start than companies that sell digital products or services. Physical products also cost more to modify and are harder to move or replace if they fall out of favor or have short shelf lives. Businesses that sell digital products such as ebooks, online courses, and worksheets require a lot of lead time to create. Whatever item you're choosing to sell, you have to create the content before you can sell it. Service businesses such as tech support, cybersecurity, or legal can be the fastest and cheapest to start, but require the greatest ongoing time investment, especially if you personally provide the service. These businesses have a built-in hard limit of the amount you can sell, as you only have so much capacity to work in a day. Choosing the business type you want to run can help direct the rest of your idea flow. If you know you don't want to sell products of any kind, that immediately narrows your options to service businesses, for example. Balance your skills and passions. Though we've talked about this overlap before, the best business ideas combine your passions with your existing business skill set. The trick is to figure out where these important factors overlap, which can help bring your business idea into sharper focus. Start by listing 10 to 12 business skills that you currently have honed. They can be from other jobs, courses you've taken, or general life experience that translates well for business management. Next, jot down 10 to 12 things you feel excited about. This could be an industry like graphic design or landscaping, a new trend you're following, or something you love to do like drawing or hiking. Link any skills and passions that seem to go together or intersect. For example, a graphic design passion would link to skills like artistic ability and proficiency with design software. Focus your business idea where you see the greatest intersection of your skills and passions. The idea of ikigai encourages you to find your purpose, one that will bring bliss, passion, or profit. When you whittle your ideas down to one, it might not be the one you feel the most passionate about. At that point, you'll need to be honest with yourself about why you want to start the business. Your most desired business may still be able to turn a profit, just not as well as other options might. If you really want to launch a passion project, as opposed to a critical income-earning venture, that will factor into your selection process as well. If you're okay doing something you love while scraping out a meager profit, breaking even, or taking losses, pursuing your dreams may be fulfilling on many levels. Maybe you retired and want to create the business you've always dreamed about. Or maybe your business is starting out as a side gig where the outlet is more important than the income. Whatever your reasons, if following your passion is the #1 factor for choosing a business idea, you still need to take all the business building steps. That way, you'll be able to pursue it for years to come. However, if profit is your driving force, you may need to set your passion aside, at least for now. You may have to move it to the back burner while you focus on building a successful business with the potential for sustainable growth and positive cash flow.